one of the things you're going to want to do is establish a user list in Visual Archive. Now, Visual Archive's user list is completely separate from Visual Shop, so any logins that you have in Visual Shop do not transfer over to Visual Archive. So you need to establish a whole new set of users for Visual Archive. And to do that, you go into Maintenance and then User List. And this brings up a list of all the users that can get into Visual Archive. And by default, in the startup database, you're going to have a user name of CSI and a password of CSI. That's an administrator. So that's why you can log in with CSI and CSI before you've added any users. You can keep that one in here if you'd like, but it's recommended that you set that as inactive so that it can no longer be used, because otherwise anybody could get in just by simply typing CSI and CSI. And you don't delete users, we just simply inactivate them. That's because some of the reports and logs use the information in this table, so we don't want to delete rows, we just simply set inactive. And to do that, you can right-click a row and say deactivate user. It puts today's date in here, and now this user can no longer log into Visual Archive. Now to add a new user, you can press the new user button here in the toolbar, or you can just right-click the list and say new user, and it puts today's date in as the active date. And I'm going to put in the name. I'll put in my name, Kevin Pludeman, and my username is going to be Pludeman. And my password, I'll put a password in there. And now here is an important consideration when setting up new users, and that's the user type. There are 4 different user types. The top level is administrator. An administrator has privileges to do anything in Visual Archive. So any features are available to the administrator. Next is view and add. If you set someone as view and add, they can add documents to the database and they can view documents in the database. And those 2 windows would be found here under Tools, under Store Documents or Document Search. So those 2 items would be available to a person that's set as view and add, but anything under the Maintenance menu item would not be available to that person. So they would not be able to get into the user list or any of these other items in the Maintenance menu item. The next user type is view only, and view only security will only let the person do document searches. They can't add any documents to the database. And then add only security means you can only store documents, you can only put documents into the database, you cannot remove documents. So those are the 4 different user types, and I'm going to give myself administrator privileges on here. And then I can right-click the list and say save, and that will save it, and it puts me here at the bottom of the list now. It automatically assigns me a user number. So that is how you put new users in the user list.